Good morning. It's Sunday, 6:25 on October 5th, 2014. Uh, I'm Tim. This is my rambling, my thoughts, maybe a little bit of knowledge in my story. I've been getting a lot of messages and emails because last week, I think it was around Wednesday, I signed up for hospice. I've been having more trouble going to therapy. I've had to force myself. I've been really tired, and I figured my heart was down to about 15%. In December, when I got out of the hospital, I was working at 50. And I'm going to turn it down a little bit. I don't know whether you can hear it as loud as I can, but since I'm the one who's doing it, I get to change it. Um, okay, back in December when I got out of the hospital, my heart was, I guess, at 50%. In March, I guess I tested in February. In March, when I went back to see him, it was 35. May they tested it, and I went to see him in June, and it was down to 20 to 25%. So I told him I wanted to test it again in August, and that didn't happen like it was supposed to. So they sent me up to see the doctor instead. So I went to see him, and he was kind of ignorant, like most of them are. But he was kind of ignorant when I said I wanted to test because my heart had slowed down, and I want to get. He says, "Well, why do you think that?" I said, "The way I'm feeling." And I told him I wanted to get squared away with hospice and other things before I left, so that I didn't stick Terry with him with all the things that needed to be done. So he said he'd do it under those circumstances, but there was no reason to really do it because I was improving. Okay, we'll see what happens. So they did a test on, I think around the 22nd, and then on the 30th, I went back to see the doctor. It's kind of strange to say, but I was right and he was wrong. He come walking in, his head kind of bowed, and says, "Hate to tell you this, but your heart's beating at about 15%." Okay, that's what I figured. Cool. He says, "Most people I know that are where you're at are in a bed somewhere." And I felt like being one, but I had to keep on going until I knew. And when I found out Tuesday, that means I don't have to fight no more. I've been fighting for 30 years to deal with the pain and to stay here. And my body says it's had enough. So we come home, and I called hospice that day. I was hospice volunteer for about 12 years. I'd be doing it now, except having trouble getting around. And I've been a hospice volunteer for about 12 years. I know what they do. So when we come home, I called them, and they sent somebody out Wednesday morning or maybe Tuesday afternoon. I'm not real sure. Time kinds to run together now. But most people think hospice is a dying organization, and they're not. They're a service organization. They help you before you go, and they help your family afterwards. Um, I've had patients that were put on and passed away 2 days later. I've had people that were put on, and I was their volunteer. Charles was about 4 years. John was about 4.5 or 5. And Greg was 6 years. But they were on hospice. Greg was on hospice that whole time for failure to thrive or failure to improve. And I wanted things taken care of. I have donated all my organs. My body has been donated to science. And now I got hospice in place. They come out, they got me on meds, which nobody else would give me meds, so I'm not in pain very much anymore. Um, they talked to Terry, and she's my legal power of attorney and medical power of attorney and everything. And they told her, okay, that's for him, but when he goes, who's going to be yours? So they want to help her get that all set up and everything. And I've got everything taken care of. So the time I got left, we can sit down and relax and enjoy things and talk to people. I've got a lot of people coming by or stopping by. which is pretty cool because some of them I haven't seen for a while. Some of them I saw not very long ago. But I try and keep in touch with everybody and keep them informed of what's going on. Uh, I've had a hell of a good run. I have no problems with what's happening. I feel bad for my family that's left here. I would really like to stay and be with them, but that's not going to happen. So Terry gave me the best gift she could yesterday morning. One, she gave me a hug. We were hugging, and she says that, don't worry, I'll be able to take care of everything now. So it's a nice feeling to know that you can go home and not have to worry about things here. And you can enjoy the time you got left and stuff. You don't need to fight and argue. You aren't going to change anything. There's no sense of worrying about it and being all bummed out because it's still going to happen. So why not enjoy the time you've got left? It's kind of like life. Why worry about shit before it happens? Because you're worrying ain't going to change it or anything else. It's just going to make you miserable until it comes to fruition. And most of the things we worry about when we're alive don't turn out as bad as we thought. Even this, oh God, that's horrible, you're dying. No, it's not. I'm going back home. I'm going to be out of this pain. I'll be able to, quite a few people I want to come back and visit, so I'd like to come back and haunt. But yeah, I have no problems with it. I've been having a good time. Had some bumps in the road on the way, but that's what we came here. That's why it's Schoolhouse Earth. And if we didn't think we'd go back home, I don't think we'd ever come here again. But we've all been here many times, and hopefully this is the last round. I was reading Matthew, and he was saying by 2017 is when we'll really notice the change. If you watch, there's changes going on now. People's energy are changing. The way they look at things are changing. And I hope this helps a lot of people lose their fear of death, because it's nothing but a transition. You stop here and you start immediately on the other side. And when you start on the other side, you have everybody you knew and loved there to meet you. And also all your soul family's there to meet you. So here you come into this world naked, afraid, cold, get smacked on the ass right away, and look around at a bunch of strange people and no memory of anything. And when we go back home, we've got our memory. As we leave the body, we leave the pain. So to me, it's going to be an enjoyable transition. I'm not afraid. I have been dead a couple of times. I really don't remember it. But I noticed after the first time how things started changing, or I started changing. And now here I am. But I had a hell of a good ride. Hopefully I helped some people and taught some lessons. I got a friend on Facebook that I went to high school with and never met her. Want to talk to her, June, and tell her how Spirit really orchestrated her and I getting together. That's a pretty neat experience. I met somebody in Sedona, and that's who I thought I was corresponding with in the beginning. And it turned out that yesterday when I was laying down trying to take a nap, they told me I had to get in touch with her. They didn't tell me what it was, but the reason they set things up like this is because there's something that she's going to do or needs to do. So I sent her an email, and we'll get in touch with one another and find out what that's about. And I'll kick back and continue to enjoy the ride. I hope this finds everybody else doing good. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the box or email them to me, because this might help somebody. And the question you have that you ask might be a question that several other people have and don't know how to put it into words, or afraid to ask because they think it sounds dumb or whatever. And this is a situation, I'm having trouble breathing. This is a situation that we've been lied to all of our life about death. And they've made it so fearful. And God, what are you going to do? I'm going to die. Oh no. And it's not like that at all. I've been in numerous motorcycle accidents. I broke my neck twice. And I was in the doctor's office, and I had the halo on, and they were doing something. And the nurse saw the other holes. I got these two here, and I got ones on the side and stuff. Saw the holes and said, "Did you break your neck before?" I said, "Yeah, this is the second time." And she says, "I've never seen anybody who broke their neck twice." And the doctor was, "Yeah, I have, but they aren't. None of them are still walking." And the first thought through my mind was, "I bet you I can break it a third time and still walk." And I slapped myself for that one. I didn't need to do it 3 times. It takes longer to heal. But I figure with what I've been through, Spirit had something that I was supposed to do. And now that it's slowly, my heart's slowing down, I figured that I've accomplished whatever it was. And I think this time it might be for real. It might stick this time. Unless they give me my light body right away. That would be cool. I don't know when we're going to move into those, but that time's coming. So open your heart. Know that there's love all around you. And the problems aren't half as bad as you think they are. Anything you go through, instead of getting angry and pissed off, see if you can't back up a little bit and look at the situation and see what you can learn from it. You know, if you got one person that keeps on telling you how everybody, they don't like me, they're just being mean to me, and they're turning everybody against me. It's kind of neat to think that one person could have that much control over so many people. How about the person you're talking to is the one that's screwing up? It's kind of like if one person tells you you're an asshole, that one person's opinion. But when you get 2, 3, 4, and 5 people telling you you're an asshole, it's time to back up and see what they're saying about, what they're talking about. Are you really being the asshole? Or are they just everybody hates you? It's all here for lessons. This is a time to learn. This is time to teach. Open your heart. Don't have anger at anybody because it doesn't hurt them at all. The only one it hurts is you. So open your heart. Let it fill with love. And know that you came here to do something. I'm not saying it has to be anything grand or great, but the source, God, Christ, the creator, whatever you want to call it, chose you because no other soul in the universe could do whatever it is you came here to do. And one of the main things you came here to do was teach. So remember that. Be aware of what you're teaching and be gentle with others, because it takes a while for the heart to open and to release all the things that we've been brought up with, all the things we've been brainwashed about, and how we were told that we were supposed to respond to things. Because we're not supposed to respond to things anyway. We're supposed to examine it, back up, and see how we can help or what lessons we've learned from that. And if we could do this more often, the world would be a much better place. There's a story on the news about a couple that gave a guy a $100 tip for a $66 meal when the service was horrible or really bad. And the way they put it on the news, it sounded one way. Then when they told the story, it was completely different. They didn't do it because the service was so bad. They went to dinner. The place was apparently short on help, and the poor guy was running his ass off trying to take care of everybody. And they had come up through the ranks, and they knew how hard sometimes jobs are. So they gave him the $100 tip to show that how much appreciation they had for how hard he was working. Not because he did a bad job, because he did a job above and beyond. But they don't like you to see those or think about those that way. They'd rather make it look negative. And if they can keep it looking negative, they can keep you uptight, they can keep you in fear, and they can keep you under control. Just think if you lived in the middle of the forest and you had food in your refrigerator, you had nothing you really needed or wanted, and you could just go outside and watch the day go by. Think how peaceful and calm you would be to a point. And then you start going nuts because you're not around anybody. and you don't have the television to watch and the drama and everything. Work at yourself of being able to be alone with yourself. Maybe some quiet music in the background, but just be by yourself. How long can you do that before you've got to start reading or go talk to somebody or get up and move or turn on the television? The goal is to sit there and see if you can go inside yourself and look around, see what you've done right, see what you've done wrong, and the things you did right, what caused you to act that way or respond that way, and the things that you did that were kind of negative or brought on negative effects. What was your thought process there? And if you do this each day, you can start to change the way you're looking at things and improve yourself a little bit, because that's what we came here to do, was to teach and learn. Well, I've repeated that enough times and I'm just kind of rambling. So I'd like to make a couple more, because maybe doing these videos with where I'm headed to will help others lose their fear, because there's nothing to be afraid of. We're loved and cherished on the other side. I've had a couple of my hospice patients come back to me, and one, she died at 1 o'clock. I did a meditation on her around 3 in the afternoon, and I was trying to send her energy and things, and I kept on picturing her bed empty, and I heard a voice in my head say, "I've already passed." Shortly after this, a sensation come over me that it was just so fantastic. I knew that she was in a coma, but I figured the next day I'd take my CD player over there and put the headphones on her, because if it allowed me to feel this way, just think of what it'd do for her. Well, I got a call around 4 o'clock, and they told me that she had passed away at 1:20 that day, and I didn't lay down until shortly after 3. So she had already crossed. So that's who talked to me. And it took me about 5 months, and I finally realized what that energy was. It was her giving me a little taste of the love and the experience she was feeling from the other side. When she crossed, she was completely out of pain. As you leave the body, you leave the pain. And it was just one hell of a neat experience. And I know that's what I'm going to feel as soon as I step out of the body. Well, remember, in the end, only kindness matters. Open your heart to others. Look at situations. Don't react to them. Try and step back and look at them and react in the most positive way. Sometimes quite often I jump the gun, but I think I see things. I feel I'm preventing something from starting that'll screw things up down the road. I'm not right all the time. There's a lot of times I make real bad choices, but they're in the past and there's nothing you can do about them. So you see what lessons you can learn from them. Okay, I'm back to the same shit. I'm still rambling. So peace, love, and light, and thank you. Have a great week. I still got to. I got rid of the. I didn't have the. I couldn't see myself on the camera, because that usually screws me up, because I'm looking at myself and my mustache over here. Over here. It was kind of crooked, and that stuff would bother me while I watched myself. So I completely went away from that. And I did this first thing in the morning before I started relaxing and things. So everybody, have a fantastic day. Week 2. Peace, love, and light. Thank you.